Okay. Other people are joining in. Esther, you're welcome. Maria Imlin, you're welcome. Let me see who is here. My man Richard. My man Richard is here. Okay. Baby of Plurifilacasi. Hey. Okay. Good. Okay, I'm glad to have you here. So we should be starting in exactly 1 minute. 1 minute, and then we'll get started. All right. Remember the hashtag is stop or no, actually avoid burnout. That's the hashtag. So the hashtag is avoid burnout. We're starting in exactly a minute. We intend to spend only 45 minutes, and then we'll be out of here. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Good. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Good. Hi, my man Ronald. Nice to see you here. Okay. This is cool. All right. So, I won't keep you waiting for long because you've kept time. We'll get straight into it. Um, this is our first Twitter Spaces for 2023. The company is Sudesh International Consult, where we help entrepreneurs and business leaders who are forward thinking to create clarity that leads to impact and profitability. Okay, so that's what we do. I'm the team leader here at Sudesh International, and I get to have an opportunity to do what I'm doing tonight, and I'm very excited about this. So, without any further ado, we'll get started. And a couple of rules of engagement. Again, please share the link with all your contacts because I'm about to share stuff that is uh, uh, that is amazing. Not because I don't say that because I'm saying it to impress you, but to impress upon you that a lot of research and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears has gone into creating this. So, um, again, share the contact with as many people as possible, even after the Twitter Spaces end. Feel free to share it with as many people as possible. We want to get the message out. Okay, so topic for today, the topic for today is practical steps to avoid burnout. Practical steps to avoid burnout. Okay, I'd ask you to get a notepad, to get your phone, and take some notes. Okay, at the end of this call, I'll be sharing a free goodie if you stay on until the end. Okay, so if you stay on until the end, you'll be getting something as a gift from us to you. So, like I said, my name is Kaka Sudesh, and I'm a business coach, and I'll be telling you more about myself and why I'm here. But this is what you can expect. Okay, so I'll first tell you why we chose this topic of practical steps to avoid burnout. Who should be on the call, and then we'll get into the strategies to avoid burnout. Okay, so first things first. You're in the right place. Okay, let me just make sure I have the right people on the call. You're in the right place if you're an entrepreneur or an employee that wants to be more productive. Okay, and by being more productive, I mean you want to get more results, because there are two kinds of people. There are people that are busybodies, but at the end of the day, they have very little to show for what they've done. Okay, the day has ended, the week has ended. What do you have to show for what you've done? Or 2022 ended. What do you have to show for 2022? Did you just exist, or you are productive? So, if you're an entrepreneur or an employee looking to be more productive, this is your place to be. Number two, if you're looking to increase your creative flow, okay, where you come up with outstanding ideas, you tweak the ones that are existing, you find new ways of making money, you find new ways to sell yourself out there. If you want to increase that creative flow, you are the right person to be on this call. And the third person that is in the right place is a person that is looking to lead a more energized team. Let's say you're a leader, but your team has run out of energy. You want to lead them to you want to lead a more energized team. You're in the right place. And the other category of people that I'm looking for are people that are looking for more energy in life. Okay, um, not walking around like the world has crashed, but having more energy in life despite of what is going on. Of course, I know that some of you might be working in a toxic environment, some of you might be going through so many things, but how do you have more energy in your life? So if you're that kind of person, you are in the right place. I'm also looking for people that are looking for consistency in effort. Okay, and I'll be talking about this more later in the on the call. But there are people today. They are firing on all cylinders. They're getting things done, and then the next day they're not able to do even two things. And then the other day they want to take a day off, and then the other day they get sick, and then before you know it, the month has ended, and they've just worked for 1 week, and they're not actually sick. They don't have malaria. They are not due for surgery. They're just burnt out. Okay, so if you're tired of inconsistency, this is the right place for you to be. And if you're tired of being lazy, you're the person I'm looking for. Okay, so those are the categories of people that I'm looking for: entrepreneurs and employees looking for more productivity, those who are looking to increase our creative flow, those who are looking to lead a more energized team, those who are looking to have more energy in life, consistency in effort, and tired of being lazy. Okay, so you are in the right place. Now, let me also just check on the other side. Um, Probably some of you are in the wrong place. Okay, so these are the kind of people who are in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place if you are if you're avoiding burnout. If avoiding burnout, if you think avoiding burnout is not your responsibility. Let me repeat that. You are in the wrong place if you think avoiding burnout is not your responsibility. You're also in the wrong place if you're looking for a quick fix. Okay, what I'm about to share, these are principles, but you have to work the principles so that the principles work for you. So if you're looking for a quick fix, this is not the place for you to be. Okay, Madam CEO, you are welcome. And then if you hate wisdom and knowledge and you just like winging things, this is the wrong place for you to be. And if you hate honesty, okay, if you just want to be told how things are right and what is going on, and oh my God, you don't want to get the real stuff, this is the wrong place for you to be. Okay, so with that said, let's get into this. Okay, so um, question I know the question that you're asking: why this topic of burnout, and how did we come to this topic of burnout? I mean, there were so many topics, but why this particular topic? Okay, so let me give you a little bit of background of how I came to think about this topic. So a couple of years ago, I'm working as an accounts assistant, and we are due for an audit. Okay, so for those of you that work for companies, you know that every year there's an audit. Okay, so a month to the audit where I was working, we lose all data. I mean, it is all gone. I disappeared, gone. Okay, we can't trace it. We get the hard disks, we send them to Nairobi, send them to South Africa. They cannot recover the data. So, being in the accounts department, we have to get on extra hands. We recruit a few people and we start in feeding the data. Okay, and the data that we're feeding into the system was for 3 years. That meant that I had to show up at work by 5:30 a.m. I'm on my desk. I don't take lunch breaks. I don't take weekends. And I do this 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And as you would expect, at the end of the month, I am burnt out. I am burnt out. So what happens is my boss back then, a wonderful lady, she comes to me. I don't remember what exactly she was asking, but I literally, I was so pissed at her, I backed at her. Yeah, you heard me right. I backed at my boss. Was I fired? Not immediately, but that's what burnout can do. But also, um, in my work, I it's not very rare to meet people that are firing on all cylinders on one day, and then the next day they are just flat, no energy. They don't feel like going to work. They are not as creative as they were. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because over the 10 years that I've been a business coach, I've had so many people burnout, and I know the effects of what it can do. That's the other reason I'm doing it. But also, I have experience coming in from being an entrepreneur and having a side hustle. Okay, so I was working my 9 to 5 job, but I also had a side hustle. So this is what would happen. I would show up at 6. By 6, I would be in office, and then I'd take a nap. And I'll tell you where I used to take this nap. So I'm in office by 6. I take a nap up to around 7:50 there. Go to the bathroom, clean my face, and then sit on my desk and start working. And by 5 p.m., I'm through. I get on a border. I go to those of you that are listening in from Uganda. There's a place called Kawempe. It's about 10 kilometers out of this central business district. I used to work in Kampala, the central business district. So I go to the stores where we were doing our hides and skins business. I go there. I'm there by 5. I supervise the guys who are treating the hides and skins up to around midnight. Okay, then midnight I leave, get on another border, come back. I used to stay in a place called Tinder. Okay, so I get on the border, get home, shower, sleep, and then wake up at 3 because the truck that used to deliver hides and skins, I had to be there. So they pick me at 3 something, okay? So I get in that truck, we're on the road, then we have to drive about 100 kilometers east of the city and get to a place called Ginger, deliver the hides and skins, and by 6, I'm back in Kampala. And that's why I used to take the nap. And, when you do that over and over and over again, you get burnt out, okay? And that's what I know. So I know what it means to be burnt out as an employee. I know what it means to get burnout as an entrepreneur having a side hustle. And I also know what it means to burn out as a consultant. There were days when I would do 72 hours straight without sleep because something has to go out. A proposal has to go out. A project has to go out. I'm preparing for an event, and I have to work extra time. I have to work overnight to get everything done. So I know what it means to get. I have you covered. If you're an employee that experiences burnout, I know what it means to have a burnout as an employee having a side hustle. I know what it means to have burnout as a business owner, but I also know what it means to experience to have to work with people that are burnt out and try to inspire them. It doesn't work. Okay, so the point I'm making in this is that tiredness has a broad hat. Okay, um, this is what it means. Sometimes you think you can do it all, and then as you start doing all these things, you discover that you actually like a flat tire. Okay, so remember, tiredness has a broad hat. Yeah, just because you think you can do it all doesn't mean you can do it at all times. Yes, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, but you cannot do all things at all times, and that's what I'll get into. Um, I remember, in my career, as a consultant stroke coach, one of the consistent types of feedback that I used to get from my coach back then was, you know what, Sudesh, you are amazing, but you're inconsistent. Oh, you are amazing, but you're inconsistent. Like when you put your heart to something, you can actually do it, but you're inconsistent. Okay, and so it put me in a place where I had to think about, it's impossible for you to be a top performer and be inconsistent at the same time. And for me, that's when I had to start thinking about this subject of burnout. And today I'm glad we can discuss it. So let's get straight into it. When are you burnt out? Okay. When are you burnt out? And rather than give you a mental definition of what burnout is, you're burnt out when all things are possible, quote unquote. Like the year starts and you have all these plans. We are going to reach 9 billion people. I'm going to make this amount of money. I'm going to start farming. I'm going to start this side hustle. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to triple my income. I'm going to buy land. And like, you know, all things are possible. When you come from that state and you get to the state of nothing is possible, okay? So you're burnt out when you get from the state of all things are possible to a state of nothing is possible. When you feel lethargic, when you feel, you know what, it's hard for me to string two sentences together. When you feel like, where am I going to get that next customer? When you feel like, oh my God, every week I am sick, I'm spending all the money. I don't know what to do. When you feel like, okay, our employer is about to close down. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Do I start a business? Do I look for another job? But as I'm looking for another job, oh my God, I have rent to pay. I have a family. Now children have gone back to school. What am I going to do? And that pressure of expectation, when you can go, it starts off as a mindset from where all things are possible to nothing is possible. So when you experience those things, you just know that you're burnt out. Okay. And what are the signs of burnout? The signs are as many as possible, but these are the common signs. When you experience constant exhaustion, have you ever woken up and you're tired? I mean, it is 6 a.m., it is 7 a.m., and as other people are getting up and they are energized for you, you're exhausted. And it's not one day, it's not 2 days, it's not 1 week, okay? You're exhausted. Today, today we did we ran a survey on our Twitter page. Uh, the handle is at Consult Sudesh, and we ran a survey, and the survey was asking people when they are more prone to burnouts, and I would like to pick it up because it was quite interesting. Okay, so uh, we did a survey, and the question was, when are you most likely to experience burnout? Okay, as of now, 43% of the people are saying on Monday morning they're actually burnt out. Others are saying just before Friday, and 14% are saying never. So that means that around 86% of the people agree that they experience burnout. Some of them experience it on Monday. Now, if you experience burnout on Monday, probably you're in this first sign where you have constant exhaustion. Okay, the other sign is loss of passion. You were absolutely, you started firing on all cylinders. You say, we're going to do this, I'm going to start this business, and this is my year, 2023, my year. And as you started, you just lost passion. They ask you, oh, how is the idea? Man, I don't know, the economy, you give all kinds of excuses, okay? And then another sign of burnout is when you start making silly mistakes consistently. I mean, it's not once, it is twice, it's thrice, it's like a master. You're at mastery, you're good at what you're doing, but you make silly mistakes over and over and over. Probably you're burnt out. And then another sign is when you make slow or no progress. Have you ever woken up, you open your laptop, you look at the screen, and after 2 hours you've literally done nothing apart from standing up, going to make a cup of tea, making a few calls, and then getting into banter with your friends. And then before you know it, it's lunchtime. You go for lunchtime. You spend 2 hours. Before you know it, it's 5 p.m. You have to go home. The week ends, and if you are paid for the work that you're doing, you not get paid that week. Why? Because you're making slow or no progress. Okay. And then the other sign is insomnia. You find it hard to sleep. And then the last sign is physical pain. Some people get migraines, others get back spasms. Science tells us that once you start experiencing those signs, then you're burnt out. So I'll repeat the signs of burnout. Um, constant exhaustion, loss of passion, making silly mistakes frequently, frequent illness, slow or no progress, insomnia, physical pain like migraines, all the things. When you start experiencing the things, one of the things, what they do to your state or your physiology is that they make you feel powerless. And when you feel powerless, you become irresponsible. Let me repeat that. You can tweet that. When a person feels powerless, that person is prone to becoming irresponsible. That's why you hear. That's why you. I was reading about Bill Clinton. Okay, Bill Clinton, president of America. He's the most powerful person in the world, and before he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky, he was working 20 hours a day and just staying in office, and he was experiencing burnout. And you ask yourself, how could such a brilliant person make such a stupid error in life? Is because when you put yourself in that position where you feel powerless, you're prone to become irresponsible. That's why someone will get up and they know they have responsibility, they have to do all these kinds of things, but they justify the reason why they just sit and watch TV all day and do nothing because they are burnt out, and they are justifying their responsibility because they feel they are powerless. Or someone goes out and commits suicide out of the blue. Okay, they were constantly okay, but because they experience a long season of burnout, they become irresponsible. So just look at an area in your life where you've been irresponsible. Probably that behavior happened when you felt powerless, or when you were experiencing burnout. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Please feel free to tweet. Okay, the hashtag is avoid burnout. Okay, that is the hashtag. Okay, i hope uh, I hope you are enjoying this. Good. So I've gone through the signs of burnout. Now, who experiences burnout? There are three categories of people that experience burnout. Yeah. The first one is a perfectionist. Like, people, there are people, to them, everything has to go as they've imagined it. Like, they want to go on the road, and they are the only ones on the road. They want the sun to shine at 7:30. They want everything to go their own way. Okay. And when you are that kind of person, when you're a perfectionist, you are more prone to experiencing burnout. But that's not the only kind of people that experience burnout. Also, pessimists. They are pessimists. To them, everything is wrong. Oh my God, the economy. You don't know what just happened. You don't know that you don't live in Uganda. You don't know my life. I just lost my father. I just lost my mother. Oh, my workplace is the worst. Do you know what it means to live here? Do you know what it means for you to wake up and not have something? Pessimists, to them, everything is wrong. Those people are prone to experience burnout. And then there are those people that are control freaks. So if you're a perfectionist, a pessimist, or a control freak is someone that wants to have everything under their control. They want to control people, they want to control everything that they do. If you're a control freak, just get to know that you will actually, as you grow, you'll experience you will lose control of certain things. Your children will grow up, they will start living their own lives. Your business will grow too big for you, you will need to create systems. So if you're a perfectionist, a pessimist, or a control freak, you're prone to uh, experience burnout. But also, there are causes of burnout. The first one is neglect. Okay, if you neglect something for so long, okay, you neglect your body, you don't exercise, you get burnout. You neglect your business, you don't go out to look for business, you don't pay attention, you'll get burnt out. If you if you neglect your job and you're put on a PIP, performance improvement plan, that stuff will burn you out. Okay, and then the other cause of burnout is um, overload. You know, if you're having overload, you do too much. Okay. Um, oh, by the way, the hashtag is avoid burnout. So you can tweet some of this stuff that gets you, or you can comment, and my handle is at Kaka Sudesh, or the company handle is at Consult Sudesh. So you can tweet. Let's have the conversation. Okay. My co-host will keep me up to date with what is exactly going on. Okay. Yeah, Elvis, thank you so much. I'll get to answer that later. So, I was saying that one of the causes of burnout is neglect. Another one is overload, taking on too much. Just imagine going to gym and you work out. Instead of working out for an hour, you say I'm going to work out for 5 hours so that I don't need to come back. Number one, you'll tear the muscles. Number two, you'll have exhaustion. Number three, you won't be able to do other things. Number four, you probably won't be able to be as effective working out for those 5 hours. Okay. And then the other reason is a lack of growth. Okay. I want you to I want you to write this down or tweet this if you're tweeting. Progress equals happiness. If you're not making progress, you'll be burnt out. Show me a person who is not making progress in their life, and they will be burnt out. Okay. And for those of you, if you've ever been at a job and you're not growing, you're not getting any promotion, you're making the same amount of money or even less money, you're losing everything that you're making, things are falling out left, right, and center, the relationships are not working, the children are not okay. If all those things, if you're not experiencing growth, then you experience burnout. The other cause of burnout is a lack of variety. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is insanity. You need to experience a variety. Okay, yes. If you if you're doing the same exact job, you're not adding anything. You're not finding new ways of doing it. Like I've been in the consultancy business for about 10 years now, coming to 11 years. I keep on reinventing myself. Why? Because if I don't experience that variety, I'll burn out. And those of you that have been down that road can testify to that. And then imagine worse than they are. They're like, oh my God, you saw this during COVID. Okay, people use their imaginations to think, oh my God, the world is going to come, the world is going to end, or I'll never get back my job. Where am I going to get food? Okay, So neglect, overload, lack of growth, lack of variety, and imagination and poor use of imagination can cause burnout. Okay, so okay, so I'll get to. There's a question here. There's a question from Elvis. Elvis is saying, "Is that also a cause to? Is that also a cause of lack of motivation?" Uh, I don't know if I get you right. I think what you're meaning is, but is burnout a a lack? A, is burnt out cause? Is a burnout caused by lack of motivation? Mm, I think yes and no. I'll get to answer that later. Okay. So keep the questions coming in. The handle is at Consult Sudesh. So we've looked at who gets burnt out: the perfectionist, the pessimist, and the control freak. The causes of burnout: neglect, overload, lack of growth, lack of variety, and the poor use of imagination. Now, which kind of people, the kind of people that you go to, I mean, can actually cause burnout or not. Okay, and I would like to cover these three types of people. When you're starting to feel like you're like a deflated balloon, who do you talk to? The first one is a downer. A downer is someone that will make your situation look worse. They're like, oh my god, what? Your own performance improvement plan? You just lost your job. The business is not working out. Oh my God, what are you going to do? Oh, why? Did you know that there was a bombing in Syria? Da-da-da-da-da-da. They just make things go down and down. And then there is people that we call the upper. The upper will encourage you. They will tell you, really? No, 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 no. Come on, things can get better. They are also called encouragers. Okay. And then the third kind of person that you can go to that will either feed or not feed your burnout is a coach. A coach will challenge you. They will ask you, "Oh, have you considered this?" Okay, I'll give you an example. When I was just getting started in the consultancy business, man, it was tough. You know, I, I can tell you that I think in the first full year, I think I made a total of around $1,000. $1,000 a full year. Do you know? Do you know that how much that is? That means that when you do the math, you're making around $83. Um, that's about 300,000. It cannot pay rent. It cannot pay transport. It cannot buy you clothes. It cannot do anything. And I remember I reached the verge where I was burnt out. I wasn't seeing progress in my life. I felt like I'd made a mistake even starting out in business. And I remember going to my coach, and I told him, you know what, I want to quit. I want to quit this business stuff, and I want to go back and get a job. Because after all, when I get a job, I won't be getting these $83 per month. I will be getting much more money. Okay, I would get a job that would give me $1,000 per month, or even $2,000 per month. I knew that I was capable of that. And then he told me something. He told me, are you sure you want to throw away everything that you've learned over this period of time? You want to throw away the experience that you've accumulated over a period of 1 year and then go back in a job and start from scratch? This is what it's going to do to you. It's going to give you some pain. It's going to be like a painkiller. You're going to feel good about that paycheck for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, but down the road, you might not feel so good about it. Okay? Caroline, you're welcome. So when he told me that, he told me, now you go sleep over it, relax, just take off a day or two and think about whether you want to continue with the business or you want to go back and get the job. Okay. I did not take off 2 days. I just took off one day and I came back. Okay. So everyone needs a coach because you need people that are going to challenge you when you are burnt out or when you're on the verge of burnout. Okay. So just a recap of how far we've come. I started by sharing. I started by sharing the signs of burnout, which are constant exhaustion, loss of passion, making silly mistakes frequently, frequent illness, slow or no progress, insomnia, and physical pain. And I told you that when a person experiences those things, they feel powerless and they are more prone to become irresponsible. And I gave you an example of Bill Clinton when he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. He had been working for 20 hours straight for months on, and he put himself in a position where he became powerless. And then I went over who actually is more prone to experiencing a burnout, and we covered three people: a perfectionist, a pessimist, and a control freak. Okay. And then we looked at the major causes of burnout, one being neglect, another one being overload, another one being a lack of growth, the other one being a lack of variety and a poor use of imagination. And um, then I went through three kinds of people that you go to that will either feed or starve the burnout that you're experiencing. One is a downer, the person that is always putting you down. Another one is always encouraging you. And then the last that I covered is a coach, someone that will challenge you and give you perspective of where you are and cause you to look at the situation in the right and put the proper perspective of what you're going through. Okay? So, this brings me to the last part. Okay, what are those practical steps that you can take to uh, to avoid burnout? Practical steps that you can take to avoid burnout. There are about 10. There are so many, but I'll share 10. Okay, and I hope you're getting value out of this. Please feel free to send through a question. I'll be able to answer the questions at the end. Um, I'll be able to answer the questions at the end. The hashtag is avoid burnout. The handle is at consult Sudesh. Okay. So, what are the practical steps that you can avoid to to avoid burnout? Because prevention is better than cure. You don't want to first get sick and then you go to hospital, spend money, and then you get healed. What would have happened is that if I'm explaining why prevention is better than cure. If you go to hospital when you're sick, number one, you'll slow down. Number two, you'll spend money on medicine. Number three, it's uncomfortable to be ill and see doctors and they pierce you. Okay. So in the same way, it's important for you to avoid burnout. That's why we did not say practical steps to deal with burnout when you're experiencing burnout. No, it's better to prevent. This is preventive. Yeah. So it's better for you to prevent burnout than go through burnout. So the first thing that you can do is learn to say no. Okay, learn to say no. Um, Usually people that, like I told you at the very beginning, that tiredness has a. I said that uh, tiredness has a broad heart. Some people cannot say no. Everything they say yes. Can you come to the party? Yes. Can you call me? Yes. Can you? Will you show up for my baby shower? Yes. Will you do this? Yes. Will you? You say yes to everyone, and in the end you burn out because you do not know how to say no. So you have to learn to say no. Okay. And learning to say no is not a bad thing. It just shows that you have priority. And sometimes some things are not worth it. I remember, personally, if you, I'm not. I like the saying that says that proper prior planning prevents pitifully poor performance. If something is not in the program and you just invite me, the chances of me showing up are very little because I know what it means to do everything, get burnt out at the end of the day, and then there is no one. I remember I learned this when I was in school. So I was part of the scripture union. I used to go for every sale. I used to go for If there is a party, I go. If there is a service at church, I go. Whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm attending everything. And I used to get burnt out. Okay. By Wednesday, I'm burnt out. By Thursday, I'm just walking like it's inertia. I'm in inertia. Okay. So you have to learn to say no. What are your priorities? You need time to you need time for yourself, you need time for the family, you need time to rejuvenate, and you need time for your God. Okay, if you believe in a God, so learn to say no. The second thing is seek daily progress in aspects of your life that matter. Like I told you, progress equals happiness. You might want to tweet that. Progress equals happiness. Seek daily progress in aspects of your life that matter. It's interesting that um, towards Christmas, recently I was doing a training, and this gentleman shared the fact that even when during Christmas they give them a voucher of 50,000 or 100,000, and they are so happy. Why? Because they are getting more than what they usually get every month. So in other words, they are seeing a little progress. If I'm used to getting $300 or 1 million Uganda shillings every month, and during Christmas, all of a sudden, they add me another 100,000. I'm going to feel like, you know what? This is quite amazing. Okay, so um, seek daily progress in the areas that matter in your life. What matters in your life? And then three, pray, meditate, and exercise. Pray, meditate, and exercise. Prayer takes the burden off you. I like the Bible, the verse that says, "Come on, cast your burdens cast your burdens on me, for I care for you." That is Jesus saying. Okay, so prayer helps you to live outside yourself, to look out towards a power that is greater than yourself, to help you deal with the issues of life. Pray, meditate. Okay, meditating means that you slow down, that you think in a bigger perspective. It's like coming out of yourself to look at situations from above. Okay, so pray, meditate, and exercise. Exercise helps you to release endorphins. Okay, it can be walking, it can be different things. And then four, practice gratitude. What you appreciate, what you what you appreciate increases in life. So, what are you grateful for? Okay, what are you grateful for? Are you grateful for your life? Are you grateful for that business, for that job? Are you grateful for your family, your wife, your children? What are you grateful for? And then uh, simplify your life through systems. Simplify your life through systems. Daniel is on this call, and he would tell you, I'm a stickler. I'm a stickler for systems, because you know you don't need to think things and leave them in your head. No, you have to create a system. Okay, just imagine there was no you go to a restaurant like CJ's and there's no menu. Okay, and they have no system of making the burgers and all the fries and all these things. So when you walk in, you ask, and the chef says, "Oh my God, I don't know where we put the I don't know where we put the Irish. Hey, where is the mayonnaise? Where are the buns? Oh my God, where is the meat?" And they're just running all over, and there's no system to make sure that they can churn out that food. They will be overly stressed. They will be burnt out. Okay, even in your life, you need systems. You need systems to help you get rejuvenated. You need systems to help you do work. You need systems to help you perform tasks. You need systems to get dressed. You need systems to take care of the children. I remember my wife and I have twins, and the first 3 months there was no system. There was chaos. The kids could sleep anytime they wanted to sleep. They would do whatever they wanted, and everything was just falling apart. Everyone in the house was stressed, until we got a book that helps you to put that helps you to raise these kids in a system and train them when to rest and when to wake up. Okay, so now What they do is that most of the day they are awake, they take occasional naps, and most of the night they are sleeping. That is systemizing, okay? It's simplifying life through systems. And then find new perspectives. I like to find new perspective. I like to read different things. I like to find out how does the Israeli army do things. Find out what does it take to build an airport. Things that are outside your field. I was studying plants. I like studying. I like studying airports. I'll study different things, not because I'm going to use those things, but I like finding out things and getting different perspectives. Yeah, and then play with kids. Man, there's something about kids. They just bring out the best. You know, a kid will smile at you, and all your stress will be gone. So if you don't have some, go find some on the street and play with them, and you'll be amazed at how that takes away the burnout. And then get quarterly getaways. Don't just stay in the same place. Just get away, and then learn to give. When you give, there's something that you feel so good about yourself. And then 10, examine your motive. Okay, this brings me to the question that Elvis asked. Yeah, that is a lack of motivation a sign of burnout? I would say that not really, because it's not the lack of motivation that causes burnout, it's the type of motivation that causes the burnout. So people are motivated to do a job or a business for six different reasons. Number one is, now I'm answering the questions and then we'll wind up. Number one is that some people are motivated by inertia. They're like robots. And then there are people that are motivated by economic pressure. Oh my God! The only reason they will do something is because there is money. Minus money, they don't do it. And then there are people that uh, are motivated by social pressure. Okay, so you come from a family where everyone, once they get to the age of 22, they get a job, and for you at 24, you're at home, or you're seated and they tell you apply for the job. You go do the interview and you get the job. Your motive for getting that job was not necessarily to do other things, but just because there was that social pressure, so you got the job. So there are six motivations: inertia, where you just show up for the sake of showing up; economic pressure; and social pressure. And then the other motivator is potential. Okay, so you get a job or you start a business because that you see that business gives you an environment, and it gives you the mentors and the coaches that are going to help you to reach what you've always desired to be. Okay, you want to be a consultant, so you work for the consultancy firm. You want to be a doctor, you join a hospital. So what is your motivation? Is it inertia? Is it economic pressure? Is it social pressure? Is it potential? And then the other motivator is purpose. You love the fact that we just came from a retreat where we're working with a team that works with children with disabilities, and some of them like the impact that they are creating out in society. So what motivates you? Is it the purpose and the impact that you're seeing through that job or that business? And then the sixth motivator is play. Play. You do what you're doing because you love it. I love to do this stuff. If you had all the money in the world, you would still do that stuff because you just enjoy doing it, and so you become creative with it. So Elvis, to answer your question, is a lack of motivation a sign of burnout? No, it's the type of motivation. If you're motivated by the first three things I highlighted, i.e., economic pressure, if those are the only motivators, economic pressure, social pressure, and inertia, which is like your robotic. If those are your only motivators, you're bound to experience burnout. Why? Because those things are external. As human beings, we are created to come from the inside out. That's why it's important for you to find something, to plug into something that fulfills your potential, that is doing something that is impactful, and something that you enjoy doing, where you do it for the sake of doing it. When you're motivated by play, by potential, and by purpose, chances are high you will avoid the burnout. But if you're motivated by economic pressure, inertia, and social pressure, chances are high that you'll be burnt out. Okay, so Elvis, I hope I've answered you. And then there is another question from Baby of Prolificacy. Okay, and your question is procrastination a sign or effect of burnout? Um, so what is procrastination? Procrastination is putting off things. And why do people put off things? People put off things because number one, maybe they feel they are scared to take action. Number two, they also put off things because they just don't know what to do. They don't have the competence. They also put off things because they they're not sure. They're they don't want to take the consequence. Okay, so when you find yourself procrastinating and putting off things, it could be that you're putting off things because you're in a state where you feel powerless. So uh, procrastination is a sign of burnout. It when you start experiencing, you say, I'll do it next month, I'll do it the other time, I'll do it the other time, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next year. I want to get land. When are you going to do it? Next year. When? Yeah, okay, next year, and the other year, and the other year becomes the other year. Oh my god, this year. When you're constantly procrastinating, that's a sign that you're already burnt out. Okay, so I've answered that. All right. Um, so just a quick recap before we wind out. I've gone through the signs of burnout, who gets burnt out, what causes burnout, which people you can go to, and steps to avoid burnout. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end. Now you can. I'll give you a chance. You can request to comment, okay? And I'll give you my co-host Daniel Kagoda will be able to give you a chance to comment, or you want to ask a question. So I'll give you a chance to do that while we are still on call. And please remember, you'll get you'll get a free copy of everything that I just talked about in form of a PDF that you can share or use to do what to refresh your mind on what we just talked about burnout. And if you need to talk to me, my handle is at Kakasudesh. You can send me a heads up. You can send me a Twitter. What is it called? Twitter inbox, and I'll be able to respond to you. I'll give you 30 minutes of my time, not paid for. Okay. Okay. Anyone that wants to comment, okay, we'll give you a couple of minutes. All right. Okay. Looks like I think it's been a lovely day. No questions, no comments. Thanks for the thanks for being on the our first Twitter uh, session of this year. We'll have another one. The first week of March, we'll be announcing the topic. If you've liked this, please share. Uh, please retweet, share, get to like, get to follow us on Twitter. We keep on sharing amazing things. With that said, have a lovely evening, and let me see. Just a second. I think. Okay, Esther is saying thank you. Okay, Elvis is asking, why do you still get burnout even if you work out 5 times a week? Hmm. Wow, brilliant question. Why do you still get burnout when you work out 5 times a week? It could be that you are working out, and when you work out, we have we have a scientist here. Ronald is a scientist who will tell you that the way the body works is when you go to work out, your body releases hormones called endorphins. And those endorphins are like coffee. They will make you feel good, but they will wear off. Okay? So sometimes when I used to work out a lot, I'll go to work out when I'm feeling bad. And by the time I leave the gym, I'm on. It's like I'm high, I'm happy. And then 2 hours later, I'm feeling burned out again. It could be that you need to examine your life and see, okay, yes, physically I feel I'm making progress because I'm working out, but how about the other areas of my life, the relationship, the spiritual life, um, my finances, am I advancing, am I growing, do I feel like I need to go back to school, do I feel like I'm late on something? So you have to examine the other parts of your life, because just because you are making progress in one area of your life will not prevent you to have burnout in the rest of the areas of your life. So, Elvis, thanks so much for that question. Esther is saying it has helped out. All right. It is exactly, it's 1 minute to 7. We've used about an hour. So we had said we'll do about 45 minutes. We've exceeded, but I hope it's been of value. With that said, thank you so much, and see you. See you. Please remember to follow the page and keep the questions coming in. Share the link. Even when it ends, it will be available for you to re-listen. Bye bye. Bye bye to everyone that has tuned in. I can see. Hi, Joy is here. Elvis, Ronald, Osewe, my wife, my one and only, is here. Alice, Caroline, Eric, Eric, my man, how are you? Madam CEO. Hey, is this okay? I think I know the CEO. Priscilla is here. Esther, Roy, uh, Richard. Thank you so much for being on the call. I'll choose to end this now. Adios, muchachos. Bye bye.